New Mexico Territory, Red Willow Basin, late dry season, 1883. The wind crawled across the basin like a creature too tired to hurry. It carried dust, the taste of iron, and the heat that slipped into every crack of the land. The sun was melting into the mesa, a red coin sinking into stone, when Elias Mercer finally heard it. A breath. A human one. He lowered his hammer, listening. Cavalry years had taught him that pain carries farther than words. He climbed the ridge, boots breaking the dry crust. Through the settling haze, he saw 3 riders circling someone kneeling in the dust. A woman. Bound. Head bowed. One man lifted his rifle like he was finishing a chore. Elias didn't think, he fired high. The crack split the valley. The horses spooked, bolting toward the ridge. Dust swallowed their shapes, and when it cleared, the riders were gone. Only the woman remained, struggling against the rope. But the breath he'd heard wasn't hers. A second sound came, ragged, broken, from the dry creek hollow. He found her there, another woman sprawled face down, wrists tied, ankles scraped raw. Deerskin dress torn at the shoulder. Blood stiff along her side. When Elias cut the rope, she surged up with a handmade blade, slashing wild. He leaned back just in time, the knife tore his collar, not his throat. "Easy," he said quietly. "I'm not them." She crouched low, knife trembling, breath shallow. "Don't take me back," she rasped. "Wasn't planning to." She stared at him long enough to judge his soul, then her strength gave out. He caught her before she hit the dirt. Fever burned under her skin. Whoever tied her had done it recently. Horse tracks, 3 sets, headed east. Fresh. He carried her to his cabin, a sway-backed shack wedged against the slope. Inside, he laid her on the cot, poured water. She drank half without looking at him. When he said he needed to clean the wound, her eyes flicked to the knife he still held. Slowly, he set it on the floor between them. She nodded once. The bullet had gone clean through. He boiled water, tore a strip from his shirt, cleaned the wound. She didn't flinch. "They shot you running," he said. Her eyes stayed on the fire. "I ran. They said shame. I said no." He didn't pry. Some truths were shaped like scars. Night thickened outside. Something moved along the ridge, maybe dust, maybe a rider. Elias barred the door. "You can eat," he said. "Or not." "You not send me away?" she asked, voice thin. "No. I'm not sending anybody anywhere." She whispered her name as he stepped out onto the porch. "Aiyana." "All right," he said. "Aiyana." He kept watch under the eaves. Around midnight the wind died, and hooves whispered across the basin, 3, maybe 4 riders circling with patience instead of courage. They didn't come close. Just waited. Before dawn, Elias made coffee. Aiyana sat upright, blanket around her shoulders, eyes everywhere, rifle, exits, windows. "You'll need food," he said. She almost smiled before remembering not to. He rebandaged her wound, the fever had eased. At his mention of the fence, she stood. "I help." "You don't have to. It keeps the hands from shaking." They walked the fence line together. She held board steady while he hammered, precise, patient. She watched like a student learning a second language. "You ever worked land?" he asked. "My grandfather had fields. I was small. I carried water. They say I don't belong anywhere now." "People who say that," Elias said, "usually want your legs to be theirs." The faintest acknowledgement crossed her face. At the dry creek they found new tracks. Heavy riders. One horse dragging something light. The prince circled near the well, a lazy question mark. "They watched," she said. "Measured us," he answered. Back at the cabin, she mended a water bucket with rawhide. He liked the way she worked, quiet, efficient. "You're English?" he asked. "Who taught you?" "Mission woman. Long time ago. She taught words, not how to use them." "You're doing fine. Words are for people who hear." He raised a brow. "You think I don't?" "You hear the wind," she said. "Same thing." Heat pushed through the afternoon when the sound came, small but wrong. A scuff at the window. Not an animal. "Inside," he whispered. Aiyana moved to the blind corner near the stove, knife in hand. No fear. Only readiness. Boots on the porch. Then a knock, 3 soft raps. "Farmer," a man called, voice too friendly. "Got a question?" Elias didn't open. "Trading post says you got company." "Apache company. Thought I'd ask if that's the sort you mean to keep." Elias said nothing. "Well," the man drawled, "Sheriff Lyle pays tidy for information. More for deliveries." Aiyana's grip tightened on the knife. Hooves shifted. Then boots receded down the yard. Elias waited 6 breaths before lowering the rifle. "He comes back," Aiyana murmured. "Yeah. With the law, or friends?" He set a revolver on the table. "You ever shoot?" "Once. We start there." He showed her how to breathe, how to sight. She learned fast. Her hands trembled at first, then steadied, remembering something older than rope. By evening, the ridge burned gold. "They'll wait for dark," she said. "They will." "And you?" "I'm tired in all colors," he answered. When night crawled back, he laid a blanket for her on the cot, took the floor by the door. A scrape came outside, someone testing the latch with patience instead of force. Aiyana's hand found the revolver. Elias raised the rifle. The latch held. Silence pressed close. "They think we're soft," she whispered. "Let them," he said. "It keeps them close." Another knock. 3 slow raps. Morning came pale and quiet. Aiyana stirred cornmeal by the hearth. She hadn't slept. "I'll fix the east fence," Elias said. "Stay close to the door." "If I stay inside," she said calmly, "I hear my blood too loud." They returned to the fence line under rising heat. She held a board while he hammered, wrist still wrapped, jaw steady. "You built all this alone?" she asked. "It's mostly keeping things from falling apart." "That's still building." At the dry well, she crouched again. Fresh boot prints. Smaller. Wider. Watching the house, not the water. She looked at the ridge. "They're close," she said. Elias tightened his grip on the hammer. "Yeah," he answered. "Closer than last night." They stood together, side by side, the basin wide and waiting around them. And the riders closing impatient as hunger.